Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel Get Going Travel. We created this channel to capture our journey around the world all the way to Australia. But before we left, we wanted to create some videos to sort of outline all the different questions we had while preparing for this big trip. In today's video, I wanted to outline exactly how we booked $8,000 worth of flights for just a couple $100 and some points and miles. Also, if you haven't watched our first video outlining what banks and credit cards we'll be using, I recommend you go check out that video. The link's in the description below, because in this video, we're gonna go into quite a bit of detail on exactly how we booked these flights. So before we get started, let's go through what exactly you need to make this happen. So the first thing that you're going to need is a travel credit card. The travel credit cards we used were the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and Jenny used the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. The next thing that you need is a travel transfer partner. An example of a travel transfer partner is United Mileage Plus. This is the frequent flyer program that we use to transfer our points over from our Chase cards to book our award travel. And the third piece is Google Flights. Google Flights is helpful because you want to understand how much the dollar amount of your flight is before you book with points. This gives you a good idea if you're getting a good value for the points that you're using. The $8,000 worth of flights mentioned in this video is a combination of my flights as well as Jenny's flights. So our first example, we'll do our Singapore to Hong Kong. We used award travel to book this flight. From Singapore to Hong Kong, we'll be flying with Thai Airways, and we'll be flying in an Airbus A350 lie-flat business class seats. So the way we're going to break down how we paid for these flights is through the amount of miles that we used to pay for, the amount of taxes and fees that we paid for, and to get an understanding of the value of our miles and points, we'll also compare it to the normal cost of those flights from Google Flights. For both my flight and for Jenny's flight, our business class award travel each cost us 25,000 miles. And the amount of fees that came with those miles was $38.40. When looking at the normal cost of these flights in Google Flights, we found them to cost $826. In total, Jenny and I paid a total of 50,000 miles plus $76.80 for flights that would normally cost us $1,652. And this was for our leg from Singapore to Hong Kong. So now let's take a look at our Tokyo to Sydney flight. For this leg of travel, we'll be going from Tokyo with a layover in Auckland, and then from Auckland, we'll go to Sydney. For our long haul leg from Tokyo to Auckland, we'll be flying with Air New Zealand. This will be in their Boeing 787 Dreamliner, and we'll be in their lie-flat business class cabin. So after our long haul business class, we'll then have a short flight from Auckland to Sydney in their basic economy product. For this flight, we each paid 50,000 miles. And the taxes and fees that came along with this ticket were $100.50 each. Since we're flying business class from Tokyo to Auckland and then economy class from Auckland to Sydney, I searched Google Flights to understand how much each of those flights would cost. And after doing the math, each of those flights would normally cost $3,200. So in total, we spent 100,000 miles plus $201 for flights that would normally cost $6,400. So for both of our trips, we paid a total of 150,000 miles plus $277.80 for flights that would normally cost over $8,000. So now that you understand how we use points and miles to book these flights, I want to walk you through exactly how we did it online. So let's get started with our Singapore to Hong Kong trip. And as you can remember in the beginning of the video, step one is having your travel credit cards. For this leg of travel, I used the Chase Freedom card as well as the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. The Chase Freedom card is a great $0 annual fee card to help you earn Chase Ultimate Reward points. The Chase Freedom Card is 5% rotating categories every quarter. So for example, this quarter, the Chase Freedom is 5% back on gas. Then after every statement, I'll transfer my Ultimate Reward points from my Freedom Card to my Chase Sapphire Reserve Card. That's where you really get the value from the Chase Freedom Card. If you're interested in this card, there's a referral link in the description below. The Chase Sapphire card is essential here because we use this card to transfer the Chase points to different travel partners. So now that we've got our credit cards covered, let's take a look at flight availability. The United website has good value for points, so let's go ahead and check that out. So getting started, make sure that you set up a Mileage Plus account, and then from there we can start to search for the award travel. So you want to change round trip to one way. Make sure you book with miles because that's the award travel. And if you're not sure of a certain date, click calendar shop. So we're looking for dates in September. We'll add Singapore as our original airport, and then we're heading to Hong Kong. So once you have your locations, you can update the class to business and then click Find Flights. So then United will search for the award availability, and you can see for this flight there's a lot of award options for September and October. For us, we're specifically looking for September 23rd. So we click the 23rd, and then United will load the award flights that are available. So you just scroll down, and we'll be looking for the Thai Airways flight leaving at 12:25. That's the one that we originally selected. So you can see there's plenty of options. Singapore Airlines with Thai Airways. And this is the flight that we selected. So what we selected is no longer available. All they have is the mixed cabin. You can see the first leg is economy class and the second leg is business class. We have a 2-hour connection in Bangkok, so we thought this was a good deal. Now that we've finished searching for the award travel, we want to search Google Flights to see how much that flight would normally cost, just paying with money. So we still go one way, one passenger, business class. We're going from Singapore to Hong Kong. And then we select September 23rd as our date, as that is the date that we selected for our award travel. And from here, we can filter by the airlines, and we want the Star Alliance. So you can see that the flight that we selected would be about $825. When we originally searched for this flight, it was $826. And you can see we're in the lie flat, the Airbus A350 with a layover in Bangkok. So we thought this would be a good value for money using our points for the short flight because we still get a long haul business class product. So now we have a good idea on how much the flights would cost with miles and points, as well as how much the flights would cost with money. So we have our travel credit cards, but we also need points. For our leg from Singapore to Hong Kong, I booked both of these tickets as a happy first business class flight for Jenny and a flight for myself. So for this example, you saw that each flight in the United portal would cost 25,000 points. So I needed a total of 50,000 points in my United account to book the flight for Jenny and to book my flight. So let's take a look at the points in miles. I recently opened my Chase Sapphire Reserve card and I didn't hit the minimum spend yet, so I only had 0 Ultimate Rewards points. That's what the UR stands for. And for the Chase Freedom card, from about a little over a year spend, I had about 50,000 Ultimate Rewards points saved up. And the travel partner that we want to transfer these to is United Mileage Plus. However, the Freedom card can't transfer points over to United. Only the Sapphire cards can. And you can use either the Chase Sapphire Reserve card to transfer points to United, or you could use the Chase Sapphire Preferred card to also transfer points to United. For this example, we'll use my Chase Sapphire Reserve card. As I mentioned, you can transfer your points from your Freedom card to your Reserve card, and vice versa. So let me show you how I transferred my points in my Freedom account to my Sapphire Reserve. So this is our Chase Ultimate Rewards portal, and I can transfer points from my Chase Freedom card to my Chase Sapphire Reserve card. So to do so, I would click my Chase Freedom card to be taken to the portal. So from here, you can see I'm at the Chase Freedom Ultimate Rewards portal compared to the Chase Sapphire Reserve portal. I'll then click See All at the top and then click Combine Points. So if I did have any points currently in my Chase Freedom card, I would just click that card and select it to move to my Chase Sapphire Reserve card, and then click Continue and move all of my points over. I do this after every statement when I get points to my Chase Freedom card. So we now have the 50,000 Ultimate Rewards points in the Reserve and 0 points with the Freedom. And I also had 0 miles in my United Mileage Plus account. All you need to do is just create your own frequent flyer account here. So the next step is to move our Chase Ultimate Reward points to our United Mileage Plus account. I'll show you how to do that next. Instead of accessing the Chase Freedom portal, we'll click the Chase Sapphire Reserve portal this time. So this way we can transfer to our partners. So you see in this portal we have the option to transfer to travel partners. This option we did not have at the Chase Freedom portal. So we'll click Transfer to Travel Partners. And you can see that I have used Mileage Plus previously, and there's also plenty of other options to transfer points out to. But for here, we would just click Transfer Points for United Mileage Plus, choose how many award miles we want to transfer, and then click Continue. So here, I would put 50,000 award miles and move those over. So now we've successfully transferred our 50,000 Ultimate Rewards points into United Miles. We now have our 50,000 miles in our United Mileage Plus account. But remember that you can't transfer these miles back to your Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. You can only transfer from Chase to United. You can't transfer from United to Chase. Very important. So now that you have the 50,000 United miles, you're now ready to book. So let's take a look at how to actually book the flights in the United portal. We now would go through the same exact process to book our tickets. Just make sure we have the right date, and then search Find Flights. You always want to make sure you check the availability of the award before you transfer your points from Chase over to United, because the award travel you're interested in might not always be available. So we'll go ahead and search for the legs that we selected. And then you just click Select. And as you can see, I don't have enough award miles, but if I did, you would just go through the normal booking process, but instead of paying with just money, you'd be paying with points as well as dollars. So that was a quick example on how we use the Chase Freedom card as well as the Chase Sapphire cards to book about $1,600 worth of flights. So for our next flight, we'll look at our leg from Tokyo to Sydney. For our Tokyo to Sydney flights, Jenny and I each booked our own flights because these cost a bit more points and miles. So the credit cards we used for booking this travel were my Chase Sapphire Reserve. Jenny used her Chase Sapphire Preferred. And we also each signed up for the United Explorer card. If you haven't watched our credit card overview and banking video, be sure to go check that out as we discuss more about credit card minimum spend and other benefits. We each signed up for a United Explorer card because we still had some travel to book for the rest of this trip. So the minimum spend for each of these cards was $2,000 each, and when you hit that minimum spend, you get 40,000 United Mileage Plus miles. For these cards, they don't earn Chase Ultimate Rewards points like these two. They earn United miles, so when we hit the minimum spend, 40,000 miles were pushed directly to our United Mileage Plus accounts. However, as you saw, the flights that we booked were 50,000 miles, not 40,000. So we still needed to transfer some points from our Sapphire cards to our United accounts. So we each hit our minimum spend for our Sapphire cards, which gave us a 50,000 ultimate reward point sign-up bonus. Step 1 is now completed, reviewing our travel credit cards. Now it's time to search for some award travel. We then go through the same exact process, searching for the flights from Tokyo to Sydney. So we had Tokyo, Sydney, one way, book with miles, and we knew we wanted to fly out in October in business class. So we click Find Flights. And as you can see, for our date on October 6th, there is no longer any award travel available. So I can take you back and show you the actual booking of our trip. You can see we had it from the 6th of October to Sydney. So for this award travel, we're flying business from Tokyo to Auckland, and then we have that economy leg from Auckland to Sydney. As it doesn't call out the cost here, I just wanted to show you the confirmation email that I received on what we had to do to book the flight. So you can see we had the same flight here, Tokyo to Auckland, and then Auckland to Sydney, in the A320. So total, we used about 50,000 points and $100.50 USD. And as we did for our other award travel, we also want to check Google Flights to see how much these flights would cost just by paying regular money. So we'll go from Tokyo to Auckland, as these classes were different because we're flying business here, and then economy from Auckland to Sydney. So we're leaving October 6th. And that's our 6:30 flight out from Tokyo. So the current cost is $3,000 when booking with Air New Zealand. A lie flat seat, flying with the Boeing 787. We also want to see how much that flight would be from Auckland to Sydney, and this is economy on the 7th, and we have one of the later flights at 7:30. So that flight would run us about $200, so about $3,200 for the whole flight, which we thought was a good deal using our 50,000 points and about $100. With our research done, we're now ready to transfer 10,000 Ultimate Rewards points to our United Mileage Plus account. That way we'll have those 50,000 miles to make our bookings. Just as we did for the first flight, we want to transfer to travel partners. We at least want to move 10,000 of our points to United. So this is in the Chase Sapphire Reserve portal. We'll go down to Mileage Plus, transfer points, and then transfer our 10,000 award miles. And we're done. So now I have 50,000 miles in my United Mileage Plus account, and Jenny also had 50,000 miles in her United Mileage Plus account. The flights are no longer available on the United portal. Otherwise, I would have walked you through how I used these 50,000 miles to book those flights. And both of us also have 40,000 Ultimate Rewards points left over to use them how we'd like. So once we finish making our booking, our 50,000 miles are back down to 0 miles. We hope these were some helpful examples on how we booked $8,000 worth of flights for just 150,000 miles and about $300. I hope you thought this video was helpful. If you're interested in using the Chase credit card system to also book flights, please use our referral links in the description below. We have links for the Freedom card, the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, as well as the Chase United card. That'd really help us out. And remember, these points and miles do not matter unless you pay off your credit card bill every single month. So again, hope you thought this video was helpful. If you did, please give us a like. And also, if you'd like to follow us along on our journey to Australia, be sure to subscribe to the channel. and follow our Instagram at GetGoingTravel. Our next couple of videos coming out will be a high-level overview on how we booked all of our flights for our trip, as well as how we booked our hotels and accommodation. So keep an eye out for when those videos are posted. I'll see you soon.